You never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just do me.
Poggers.
Hi, so this isn't a video about my thoughts on Space Jam or Space Jam: A New Legacy. The newest film is okay. I didn't love it, didn't flat out hate it, but something from this movie stuck with me after doing some research. It took me down this rabbit hole of the future of the film industry as a whole, and I really wanted to talk about it. I wasn't going to make a video on Space Jam: A New Legacy at all. Like I said, I have no interesting or noteworthy takes on it to discuss further than a statement, but after seeing something in a different light and seeing how this film handles said issue is very interesting, weird, for lack of better terms. So this video has nothing to do with my thoughts on the new Space Jam, where my made-up number or star rating would be for it. No Easter egg video. I mean, it's the same look at these references in the background concept that Warner Brothers loves to do. Lego Batman movie, Ready Player One. Let my man Iron Giant live in harmony.
Family.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, let's just get into what I wanted to talk about today. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button and I'll make Space Jam 3 starring me actually happen. I will also keep this video as spoiler-free as possible. What I'm talking about was shown off in the trailers and mainly happens within the first act of the film, with some small branching details mentioned from parts throughout. It's only fair that I give you that warning though. Space Jam: A New Legacy is one of those self-referential, let's poke fun at ourselves as a company to seem relatable films. Forget that this is like the third time Warner Brothers uses every other film property they have to sell a product. Here we get a chance to see into the corporate side of the company and how they come up with the film and entertainment ideas. For example, in this film, they use Don Cheadle and a serververse to represent an AI system that's job is to crunch numbers, predict outcomes of box office, and to present bankable ideas to Warner Bros. To pitch and to make. Now, taking away the fiction aspect, the film shows that the AI system came up with a full spread of film and entertainment packages featuring LeBron James with a full visual presentation and pitch deck, while the Warner Brothers executives sitting around the table just go along with it, as this is all new to them as well, and they would only feel how LeBron feels about it. They didn't hear any of this before it was pitched, they didn't create it, so they have nothing to lose, right? And as soon as he turns it down, the executives brush it off, call it stupid, and trash the idea that the AI system had come up with for this work. Now obviously here, the film portrays the AI in a bad light. It's shown to be the overall villain, and you would think that one of the lessons you could take away by the end of the movie is that, I guess, having an AI come up with all the film ideas in Hollywood takes the natural creative feeling behind art away. Now clearly that wouldn't be the main lesson the film wants to leave you with, but one that you could easily take away with how they treat the AI for the rest of the movie. But whatever, no harm, no foul, and I know it's a basketball film, there was no pun intended there, but it's just a movie. Warner Bros. Poking fun at themselves, and that using an AI is something that clearly isn't something good for the creative endeavors, and then we move on. For a company having a movie they made to make such a stance on how they portray to their audience how bad and formulaic the AI could be, there would be no way that that same company would actually have and currently use a full-on Hollywood industry AI system to determine film profits, which actors to hire, and basically create concepts to pitch. Oh, would you look at that? After watching the film, I was curious to see if there could be such a real algorithm that a company could own in modern day to dictate the directions of a Hollywood studio. And the irony, after all that hee-heeing and ha-haing about algorithm bad, that the company actively using AI in their studio for all the same reasons was Warner Bros. Now, before we proceed, I want to be clear. This isn't a hit piece on Warner Brothers or any other companies mentioned, and yes, Warner Bros. Is not the only company to adopt an AI system, but these programs have been around for a while and have just started to wildly get integrated more and more over the past couple of years. Warner Bros., for example, had their deal with Cinelytic just happen at the start of 2020. I, for someone who considers themselves very in the know for what's going on in the film industry, was ignorant to the fact about what this all really was. I slightly remember hearing something about this, but as far as me fully knowing that this was an actual implemented system was not stored in my brain. I wasn't sure what to make of this. I was fascinated with the concept and how it is actually applied to the film industry. Should I be truly concerned about this, or is it just a tool to help the industry make better guided decisions? I wanted to educate myself fully, so let's take a look into what the real-life AI system is, what it actually does, and how it will impact and has already impacted the industry. And maybe you might just learn something as well. These systems, specifically we will look at the main one that we're talking about today, Cinelytic, who works with Warner Bros., Sony, STX, and more, are designed to analyze every bit of data about a film, its actors, and the cost versus income factor of the production. Now let's break down what this company is and what it claims to do. Their exact description of their company is, Cinelytic is a cloud-based business intelligence platform for the film industry. Our system provides leading industry data and analytic tools to help film professionals better inform their creative development, casting, greenlit, marketing, and distributing decisions across a film's value chain. The tools they provide are the real interesting part though. They have trademarked special tools that can curate the talent lists and comps in seconds, giving detailed statistics, with another one running multiple scenarios dealing with the creative, budgetary, financial, marketing, and release strategies. And maybe the most interesting one of all, the talent scores. How do I describe this? You know how trading cards go up and down in value? Some always stay high and grow higher and higher, and some fluctuate depending on the popularity in the moment. It's that same concept, but then applied to actors. What's their value to the film? How much do they cost to acquire? And will this investment in them pay off in the long run? It in-depthly turns an actor's filmography into a picked-apart data mine script of what they bring to the table, all based on how profitable they could be towards a product. Should we hire Chris Pratt or Tom Cruise for this role? Let's look at the overall box office income, their newest project's income, the cost to hire them, and the comparisons to other actors who may or may not be a better overall deal within these parameters. If we swapped out Jennifer Lawrence for Florence Pugh in Mother, would it have done better or worse based on the star power alone? This would be possible to determine based on the program by estimated percentages. This also applies to writers, directors, producers. It's not just the actors. Looking at this example image of Cinelytic, you could see how a film is broken down for a company to go through. Similar to analytics on a YouTube channel mixed with something like Social Blade. Here you can see the talent broken down by cumulative median box office, the past 5 median box office, cumulative median budget, the past 5 median budget, and the box office talent score. Basically how much they make on an average film at the box office, then the same thing but for their most recent endeavors, how much the average cost the studio has to pay for a budget, and the same thing for the past 5 films, and yeah, the talent score. We can see which companies distributed the films, where in the world it performed the best, and one of the most important factors for the studios, the predictive forecast. With different percentages based on every factor the directors and actors previous work can provide, added with what the box office and other viewing avenues provide, this system can showcase almost to the dollar what the safe bet is, what the biggest risk could be, and how high could the film soar. The predictive forecast is what can build the next big hit film, when and where to hire which director, and if they should pair them with a certain actor, where the marketing campaign would work the best, how much is this all going to cost, and how much can we earn. All can be pre-visualized in seconds because of this service. Now, studios have been doing this since the dawn of the industry. Not thanks to an AI or program, but by crunching the numbers and making actual decisions themselves. And sometimes that pays off and sometimes it doesn't. With these AI systems, it's still not the squeaky clean 100% perfect solution, but it narrows down the margin of error for the first stages of a film's process. What makes the difference and makes it worth it to the companies even more is that usually this process of what could take days or weeks to do, the program does in literal seconds. At the click of a button, all the value of an actor or the generated film package idea can be accessed and turned into a meeting to discuss. And if you account for all of the newfound time because of this process, more films can be curated in general by all these studios involved. But is this where the future lies? Can these programs go beyond like that what we see in Space Jam: A New Legacy? Can it curate the full idea beyond the statistics and basically run the show at a company, bypassing the final say from the executives? Warner Bros. Uses Cinelytic up to their greenlight process. The system can conjure up what seems like the perfect compatible package, but it will still be up to the executives to make the decision to go forward with the project. We still similarly see that in Space Jam 2, but the only difference there is that if LeBron had said yes to the ideas, the execs would have moved forward with it as well, leaving the AI to have controlled the complete process and not the executives. In the real world, the AI does not have the final say. There is no talking computer that presents a full pitch deck and presentation to the actors and executives. So it's not to the level being emphasized in the movie, but that's not to say that it couldn't be at that level eventually. It's just not likely to happen anytime soon, according to those in the industry. But I fear the problem we face here is the problem no film fan wants to hear, but what the studios overall love the most: profits over performance. Sure, no studio wants to have an actor give them a bad performance, and no actor wants to give a bad performance themselves. But when you're crafting these movies based on the algorithm's job to maximize potential profits by getting popular actors and combining them with with new or pre-established concepts? Do we sacrifice the other actor who may be perfect for the role for the one that may not be right just because of the money draw? Is that how we lose the art of it all? Are we missing out on award-winning performances because the actor's past few films didn't perform well, and maybe not the best choice, but based on the money they've previously brought in, gets them that role instead? Are we all just trading cards to someone? Now, I'm just a dumb YouTuber guy spewing a bunch of thoughts on stuff that I possibly couldn't comprehend on a behind-the-scenes aspect. I am not the studio, I am not the one seeing how the system curates the ideas and generates the actor choices or any of the above. Obviously, this is the future for these companies. It for sure works for them, but my fear is at what cost eventually. For every smash hit we could have from this, what gets left on the table? Is this how actors get phased out of the film industry because the computer knows down to the dollar their value? Same goes for the directors, the writers, and producers. I don't, however, see this as a massive problem in the meantime. I don't think it'll ruin the sanctity of film. It's just a precursor to what control will be left for the process of filmmaking down the road. Space Jam: A New Legacy pokes fun at this, but it feels a bit weird thinking that some of the ideas in this film, the actor choices, the process of having every property Warner Brothers has show up, may have been the work of a program saying to do it, and a studio going forward with those suggestions. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all this down below, how you feel about an AI algorithm literally made to craft the perfect, profitable film, but also share with me your thoughts on Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'd love to hear them. Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? Please let me know. And as always, I appreciate your time here today and that you choose to hang out with me for just a few moments. Make sure to hit that like button as it truly helps out the video, and I am very thankful for it. Subscribe to be a part of my journey through movies and television and how these films and shows affected my life from the past and present. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, later.